All right, artists, today your challenge is to create a skin-toned rainbow. I have my liquid paints. When you get your liquid paints, you'll need to take the lid off of each container. Don't lose the lid. I kind of stacked them up in the empty spot in the muffin tin. And remember, you're sharing your paints with your neighbors. The other thing you'll need to have is newspaper under your paper, water to share, a paintbrush, and a piece of cardboard to mix your colors on. Okay. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can mix skin tones, and I also call them earth tones. You can look at our color wheel, and the first option is to make an orange by mixing red and yellow. Orange is in the center. And once I have my orange, I can add black or white to it to make it lighter or darker. Another way is to mix complementary colors. Complementary colors are across each other on the color wheel. So the complementary color of red is green. Complementary of purple is yellow. Complementary color of orange is blue. When you mix complementary colors, they turn into a natural color like brown or gray. So I'm going to start by trying the orange method. So when I take my paintbrush, I'm going to dip it in my red, and I'm going to just twist my brush onto my palette like this to lay that color down, okay? Remember, a dry brush is a clean brush. So I could just rinse out my brush in my water by pressing gently and swirling around on the bottom of the bowl and wiping it on the edge, drying my brush on my newspaper, and then picking up some of my yellow, okay? Don't dunk the whole brush in. You want to just pick it up like this and then make another puddle by twisting your paintbrush onto your palette like this, okay? So now I have my two colors. I'll mix it together here to make an orange. Now once I have my orange, I want to pick up a little bit of black and white. I could, again, rinse my brush out in the water, but you can try the dry brush method. And to do that, all you do is dry your brush on the newspaper like this. And once I have a very dry brush, I can dip it into my clean paints without mixing the colors. We want to keep these paints clean because everyone's going to use those. You're going to be mixing on here. So I have a dry brush now. You can see there's still some orange in there, but it won't mix into my white because it's so dry, and I'm not going to be swirling around in my white. I'm just going to pick up some paint, and you can see my white container is still clean. Now I can just twist my brush onto my palette, and I can add some of this white into my orange that I created. I want it a little bit warmer, so I might add a little bit more red to it. I'm just experimenting. All right, I'm going to start my first skin tone curve line for my rainbow. All right, so I have my first color down. I'm going to clean my brush. And now I'm going to experiment. Just grab some black, put it on my painting palette, and I'm going to experiment. Okay, so black is a powerful color. That's what's so wonderful about it. Just a little bit of black will take over your colors. So I'm going to just use what I have there. And when I'm mixing on my painting palette, my cardboard, I'm not getting all of these paints dirty. So that's why it's important to have a painting palette. I'm going to add a little bit more yellow here. And the other thing is I'm using a small brush. If you have a large brush, it's going to soak up a lot of color and a lot of water. So you have a little bit less control, and it usually gets very muddy and wet. But if you have a small paintbrush, you have a little bit more control. And you can see I'm keeping to this little corner over here, and I'm not mixing colors on my whole cardboard, my whole palette. All right, here's my next color that I created. I'm going to clean my brush again, and I'm going to continue experimenting. Now, let's try mixing complementary colors, okay? Opposite colors. I will try a red and a green. So this color is similar to the one that I created there. And I did that by mixing complementary colors, okay? So I can give it a little bit cooler of a tone by putting a little bit more blue in there. Maybe add a little bit of white in there. Beautiful. I'm gonna experiment and put a little bit more white in there. Well, it looks too similar still, so maybe I'll add some more yellow to it. Again, once my brush starts getting too dry, I'm just going to dab it in my water. Not dunk it in the water, but just dab it in the water. So a quick pickup of water will create more paint. All right, I'm happy with my skin tone colored rainbow, and I'm going to just sign my name on it, my class code, and it goes into the drying rack.